Welcome to the NSIC Spotlight, the voice of the NSIC student athletes, powered by gpac. gpac, growing people and companies. I'm your host, Nick Corner, Assistant Commissioner at the Northern Sun. Today, we are joined by the reigning NSIC Women's Basketball Player of the Week, Madelyn Bragg of Northern State University. Madelyn, thanks for joining us on the Spotlight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, as we do each week, why don't we start with you telling us a little bit about yourself?
All right. I'm from right here in Aberdeen, South Dakota. I went to Roncalli High School. My major is business administration, and I hope to go get my master's in healthcare administration after I get my undergrad here at Northern. I've been playing basketball pretty much my whole life, probably since I was about 4 or 5, but my mom was my sister's head coach. So I kind of grew up in the gym. Mom played college basketball. Both my older sisters played. So I've kind of been around the game my whole life. So, yeah.
All right, you said Aberdeen native. Why did you choose Northern State University to continue your academic and athletic career?
There were just some things that you couldn't find anywhere else. Especially at the culture, the fan base here is unlike any other. The support that the student athletes get from the community is just unreal. I can walk into the gym after a game and there'll be 10 little girls asking for my autograph and people buying my jerseys online and things like that. And also, since it's just my hometown, the support from Roncalli is still very evident. And of course, from my family, I wanted to be able to go home and see them whenever I felt fit. And Northern is just an amazing place. And those hometown connections are just something I couldn't pass up.
Definitely a lot of community support out there in Aberdeen, especially for teams that are doing well, which the women's basketball team is, as they are off to a great start this new year. Winners of 5 straight, as you sit at 10-2 in NSIC play, just past the midway point of the season. You were just 2 wins away from matching your NSIC win total from a year ago. What's made this team so successful this season?
I think a lot of it has to do with how much time we spend with each other outside of playing basketball. We're always doing things together, and I think that has really helped develop our team chemistry. And it really helps the way that we play on the court. Also, I think our work ethic, this team put in so much work individually outside of the mandatory stuff this summer, and everybody just put in the work to get so much better and develop their game. Another thing is that nobody really expected us to be in this position except for us. The preseason rankings, we were ranked 10th out of 15 teams in the NSIC. So it was just, that kind of put a little chip on our shoulder, I think, for sure as well.
Coach Paula Kruger, a former player at Northern State, she's in her 6th season. You talked about the team coming together. What is the culture she's brought to this Wolves team, and what's it like to play for her?
I respect her so much. She brings kind of a different insight because she played at Northern State. So she kind of knows the way things go around here. And she has been in the game for about 30 years. So she really has that level of knowledge that you can't really find anywhere else. She's so smart. And she also is super good at recognizing what each player likes and doesn't like. Different teammates can take criticism. Different teammates aren't really the best at it. And she's really done a great job of knowing her players on a different level. And she's just super smart with the game. She makes big time decisions, and we all trust her because she's been in that position as a player and she's been in an assistant coach role. And now she's been doing pretty well as a head coach. So I think all of us just have a lot of respect for her.
As we mentioned, you are the reigning player of the week. Lots of contributors on this Wolves team this season. Tell us about some of your teammates.
Our starting point guard, Rihanna Philippi, she's just such a well-rounded player, and I trust her with the ball 95% of the time. She's been a leader on this team since her freshman year. She can make those crunch decisions, and I trust her to hit those big shots. Elena Beneke has an amazing work ethic. She put in so much work this offseason to really up her game. She's an amazing shooter. I trust her to shoot those, big time shots. Along with Morgan Fiedler, she put in a ton of work. She's so quick. She's arguably our best defender. She guards some of the best players in the conference, and she locks them up every single night. So she's really good in that sense. Bryn Alfson, probably one of my best friends, probably our best rebounder. In tight games when we need a couple big defensive stops and defensive rebounds, I look at her and she's going to go get it every single time. She just has this never quit attitude, along with DeConte Smith as well. Great rebounder. She's kind of like a bully. She gets to the rim against whoever it is, and I can 95% of the time guarantee she's going to make the shot. She's impeccable on rebounds. Her hustle is unmatched. Yeah, and then just the rest of the team, we all just kind of have like a never quit attitude. You look at us during games like Duluth, and every one of us is just kind of stone cold. Nobody is really nervous. Everyone on the team just kind of has that kind of game time attitude, which I think is super crucial to our success as well.
Yes, a great group of players out there for Northern State, including yourself. You are second in the NSIC in scoring and block shots, top 10 in rebounding as a true sophomore. How would you describe your style of play and your role on the team?
I think my style of play is pretty traditional for a center. I spend a majority of my time in the paint. I'm trying to kind of go out and shoot more outside shots to make me more of a perimeter threat as well, because it gets hard when teams are bringing doubles the whole game. It kind of gets difficult to make those inside the paint shots. So that's something I'm trying to work on, but I would say mostly like a traditional five. My role on the team has changed a lot since last year. Since we graduated a lot of our talent in the paint, it's really just me and Briley Schultz, who is a true freshman in there. I went in before the season started and I asked Coach K. I wanted the pressure on my shoulders. I wanted to be held higher, expectation wise, because I wanted to step up and fill that role. And so I would like to say that I would try to be a leader, even though I'm technically still an underclassman, but that's kind of just something I'm trying to do, is be that positive light and keep uplifting people. So I would like to say that my role is more of a leader.
Last week against Duluth, you hit your second career collegiate three-pointer. You just mentioned it, but is this a new threat? Is that something you're actually working on to work on the outside shot?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think it's, those kind of shots are fun when you make them, especially if you're not really a true shooter. So I'm trying to work on it. A lot of time in practice, I don't spend a lot of time in the paint. I do spend a lot of my time on the perimeter trying to just get more comfortable in game time situations, shooting those shots. Because last year, if you watch any of my games, I get the ball 15 feet out and I'm passing it. I'm not even looking at the rim. So I think my confidence has changed a lot in that sense, because I kind of have the green light. I'm allowed to shoot those. I've never been told don't shoot. So I think that is something that I'm definitely trying to get better at.
That three-pointer puts you up big in the first half against Minnesota Duluth, but they come back late to take the lead. We mentioned Morgan Fiedler. She hit a three-pointer to send the game to overtime. Wolves dominate the extra session, outscoring UMD 11-0 for the win. What adjustments did UMD make to get back in that game in the second half? And then how did you guys counter in overtime?
I got to give a lot of respect to the Duluth team. They fought the whole time. Even though they were down big at half, they didn't give up. I think a lot of things went their way the second half. They were just hitting everything, deep threes. They were finishing shots at the rim that most of the time probably wouldn't go in. They were hitting everything, and we were cold for most of the second half. Weren't hitting shots, weren't getting anything inside. So that definitely changed a lot of things for us. But I think going into overtime, we knew that we hadn't beat this team in a very, very long time, and that this was our one chance to do so. And I think in the huddle, I said to them, we worked this hard to come back and to be in this position. We can't, give up now. We have to finish the game. It's not over yet. And I think we all just went in not wanting to lose at all. I think a lot of us would have been really in bad moods after that game if we would have lost, because we were up so big at half. So I think that was another thing, is we all just were like, we can't lose this. We were up huge at half and we fought back to stay in the game, and we can't let them have that satisfaction.
It's funny you mentioned you went cold in the second half because it was I Hate Winter weekend at Northern State. Barnett Center had to be rocking. Tell us about that atmosphere in a little bit, if anyone's never heard of I Hate Winter, kind of the atmosphere and what it brings to the game.
Yeah, I'd say that I Hate Winter is arguably one of the biggest weekends at Northern State. It's kind of like our little homecoming, I guess. It's kind of a thing all week. Students come out. We have a huge student section. We get 2 hot tubs on the baseline. People can sit in those. You hand out leis and sunglasses, and we toss out tank tops and promote it all week. And so that game every single year, or those 2 games every year, is our highest attendance. People just love to come out and enjoy that atmosphere. Playing an I Hate Winter game is something unlike I've ever experienced. I compare it a lot. The energy in there, I compare it a lot to my junior year of high school when we beat St. Thomas More, which is a team we've never beat before. It was a huge upset, and the energy in there is just you can't hear your teammates, especially into the Duluth game. I couldn't hear Coach K when she was calling out plays. It's just the energy in there is crazy. Everybody's screaming. You have students on the baseline, yelling at the opposite team, which is something that doesn't really happen in regular games. So I don't know what it is about I Hate Winter Weekend, but everybody just kind of goes a little bit crazy and has a lot more fun than we would on any other weekend.
And it's obviously easy to get excited for those game days. But what drives you every day, not only on the court, but in classroom and in your life?
Yeah, I have a lot of big dreams and aspirations for myself. I want to, be successful in life and do all the things that I have dreamed doing since I was little. But I think a lot of my, success and stuff comes from the support from my family and friends. I wouldn't be, able to dream about those things if it weren't for them. I wouldn't be in the positions that I am now without them. So their support, and I can go to my parents saying, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur and start my own business, or I want to run a hospital, and they'll support me in anything. So I think they keep those dreams alive. And I just want to be, yeah, I want to be successful, and I want to be someone my nieces and nephews can look up to and stuff like that too. So
All right, and then come game day, what unique pregame rituals or superstitions might you have?
yeah, I'm not, I try to say that I'm not superstitious, but I think I am. Every game day I have to put on my pregame playlist and listen to that for, 45 minutes. It's the same playlist every single game day. And then I have to wear wrist tape. It's not functional. It's just for a little reminder. I put a smiley face on it, and then I choose a word for that game. Most of the time it's something like, like poise and stay calm and stuff like that. And I just kind of look down in it when I'm, stressed out in games, and it kind of helps relax me. And then also I have to wear some kind of undershirt. When we wear black and white jerseys, I wear the leg sleeve just because it's routine. Even though it's really not for anything, it's just because I like the way it looks. Um, yeah, that's really about it. I mean, just those kind of things, wearing the same thing, listening to the same music, those kind of things.
Gotcha. All right, and your final question, what advice would you give to a young player to help them in their development?
The first thing I want to say is just keep the faith. It's not always going to be easy, but you have to keep the big picture in mind. And also, you have to try and go out and enjoy every opportunity you get to play while you still can, because you never know when it can be taken away from you. So I think just try and enjoy it while you still have the opportunity. Put in the work, because even though you might not want to go to that one individual workout, you want to stay home and go hang out with friends. It's going to pay off eventually. And another thing is be coachable, be able to take criticism. That'll get you far, and it'll make things a lot easier if you can take that criticism, because coaches aren't always going to be nice.
All right, some great advice there, Madelyn. Thank you very much. That's going to wrap up this week's show. Thank you again to our sponsor, gpac. Madelyn, best of luck to you and the Wolves the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.